62,000 is a reason for me to stop being bullish on Bitcoin. When you trade it, yes, but Bitcoin was $1,000 or $100 10 years ago. So 60,000 is still a great return. I also believe that Bitcoin is still getting better at being useful. It doesn't seem to move. Things are still at risk. I don't think it will do well if taxes hurt the market. Like it can't handle that kind of rough weather. Will people accept Bitcoin more in 5 years?
Yes.
Will more and more people see it as a way to save money like gold? Yes, I think more and more. Then is it big enough for a lot more people to own? Yes. In the short term, I don't think it should go down, but I'm also not really bullish on it either. Tom Lee is very sure that XRP Bitcoin and many other cryptocurrencies will experience a growth time that has never been seen before. There's a lot of evidence that this will happen this year. The acceptance curve is the first one. Similar to how the internet has grown, XRP and cryptocurrencies in general have been growing a lot faster than they used to. This rate of growth has only sped up the growth as millions of new people join the space every day. If things keep going at this pace, it makes sense to think that the prices of XRP, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies will change a lot sometime this year as more institutions, individual investors, companies, and everyone else get involved. Also, it was recently announced that governments are going to build their own strategic reserves. This will change the markets in some very interesting ways. And I think a lot of you should know about how that will work, how you can make money from it, and so much more. This is what we're going to do in the movie today. Please click the like button so that everyone can see it. Now let's hear what Tom Lee has to say. Have fun with the movie. To get the best results for our clients, we've told them to just hold on for a long time. You know, but that's not how most people think about crypto. You can trade it and get a return right away. Mark Newton, our technology strategist, has done some work that makes him think that Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin all have bad points. It's been bad for him since the middle of January. That's why I think it was right. And he thinks Bitcoin will fall to 62,000 by the end of March. But I don't see why 62,000 is a reason to sell Bitcoin. Yes, if you're selling it, but Bitcoin was $1,000 or $100 10 years ago. That being said, 60,000 is still a great gain. I also believe that Bitcoin is still getting better at being useful. It doesn't seem to move. Things are still at risk. I don't think it will do well if taxes hurt the market. That kind of chaos can happen to Bitcoin too, but is trust going to grow over the next few years? Yes, 5 years. Will more and more people see it as a way to save money, like gold? Yes, I think more and more. Then is it big enough for a lot more people to own? Yes. In the short term, I don't think it should go down, but I'm also not really bullish on it either. What do you think about the stock market in general? In other words, the market is trying to figure out how much these unknowns are worth right now. It makes sense that we're moving around, but buyers don't want to get too negative. Since we've been using the AII poll for 14 years, we already know how the market feels and can measure it. The retail sentiment poll is still very negative, which I think is the best thing about it. It happened in the fall of 2022. Retail sentiment is at its lowest level since the beginning of the current bear market. This is likely because there have been so many margin calls in the last couple of weeks. They think this is a crisis, but it's really just a growth scare. I believe we're likely to hit our lowest point for the first half this week. And like 5 to 6% less, right? It's possible, yes. I mean, the only thing is that I'm not very hopeful about finding a job soon. That might be the last step. Although it's true that a lot of bad news has already been priced in. On the other hand, the Fed needs to move out of neutral more as we get closer to stall speed. We should not talk about things that might be bad for the business, and I think the White House will too. Between July and August of last year, I think it was mostly Fed-driven. Yes, so that makes sense because there was a big drop in the value of the dollar. It looked like either the Federal Reserve made a mistake with its policy or it became more hawkish. But either way, we had a big drop this year. Yes, I think it will happen. I am, from what I can tell, it's more in the second part. So I think this is just a cut on the skin right now and not the start of a drop. What do you think the upside will be if we get rid of a lot of those headwinds and the unknowns we just talked about? For example, let's say we get the base case on that pro-growth plan that a lot of people are excited about. I want to make it clear why I don't think it's 10%. Because let's say that some rules were put in place that would make the US stock market fall 10.
Yes.
You can be sure that everyone else is down 30. Okay. Will Europe, Canada, and Mexico dig in and say, oh, we'll just get through this? They won't fight back. They'll give up. The truth is that this behavior on the edge probably leads to the other side giving up. To his customers, Tom Lee tells them to invest. From what Tom Lee has said, it sounds like Trump is well aware of how bad the world economy is. That's the main reason why he's pushing for these talks about tariffs. It sounds like he's saying, I know your economies are weak. I know that your inflation is at an all-time high. Your real estate markets aren't strong. Your rates of unemployment are higher. I also think that if I put enough pressure on you, you will give me a better deal. After that, I can seal the deal. Then we can get serious about QE and really send these markets through the roof. So the United States gets the most out of this. If he really wants to put America first, this is a very good plan for his country. It might not be good for Canada, Europe, or China, but those places are all going through a lot of trouble right now. So he can basically strike while they are weak and take advantage of the fact that they are the world's main currency to get ahead and get more cash. He should also let his country move forward quickly. This might also be good for other countries like Canada and Mexico if they agree with Trump's terms. At this point, I think Trump's terms are very clear. Either you go along with the flow or you keep hurting your business until you have no choice but to do what everyone else does. So that's pretty much what it looks like we're seeing now. And I agree with this in general. What does this mean for XRP and the crypto markets in general? Things are going to be very unstable because Trump might keep these taxes in place, which would be very bad. For everyone, including the US, it's going to burn a lot. The tariff fight between Europe, China, Canada, and Mexico is only going to get worse. Trump is going to let it play out. He's going to wait it out. He's going to try to hold out for as long as possible before people give up. He'll be happy to change terms that are good for him and move on with his life when they do. We will see XRP go up, down, left, right, and center during that whole time. And I think the general direction for XRP will be down, like what Tom Lee has been talking about since the middle of January. While Tom Lee does talk about politics here, there are a few other things that I think are very interesting and need your full attention. Let's take a quick listen to this. Do you think that trade and taxes are one of the biggest problems facing the market and the economy right now? This wind could turn into a blast. In fact, though, if policies are put in place that cause such a big shock because of tariffs, we might have a recession, right? That's pretty much a fact since we don't know how to handle a 300% tax or something, which is why investors are scared.